Hello everybody, MorbTron here. Outbreak Prime, or I should say Outbreak Perfected, is in Destiny 2. It is a secret exotic quest that was released today. I'm going to show you how to get it. Now, you need to have done the, at least starter mission to get to the Rat King quest line on Titan in order to be able to do this. You don't need to have done the Rat King, but you need to have been able to unlock the quest to get it done. There's a mission, it's called Enemy of My Enemy. Make sure you have that done before you do the mission, or before you try to do this. Otherwise, you will not be able to open a door that starts this whole thing off. But I'm going to take you down to where that door is right now. Expect a review video on this weapon tomorrow, but today is just going to be the how-to video. The mission is quite long. It's basically like Whisper of the Worm, except I would say more difficult than Whisper. So as we get closer to this door over here, you'll see here this says unlocked. If you have not done Enemy of My Enemy, that will be locked and you will not be able to open it. Make sure you have done that. You can unlock this door, and once it opens, there will be an item on a table right here that you can pick up. Now, if you are not able to open that door, but somebody in your fire team is, you will be able to get into the room, but you will not be able to pick up the quest item. So again, you must have completed the quest chain Enemy of My Enemy in order to get this quest started. And once you do, well, here's the next step. Okay, so after you obtain the fallen transponder, you need to find where these nodes are, and as far as I know, you need to complete them in order. The first one can be found in the EDZ in the Drain Lost Sector, which is at the center of the outskirts. And once you get to this area in the Lost Sector, which was previously unused, weird, this area here, there's a giant pit in the mine. Jump all the way down here, and you're looking for this little doohickey on the floor. On to node number 2. Alright, the second one can be found in the Whispered Falls, which is still in the outskirts. It's in the top left or northwest of the area. Once you get into the Lost Sector here, jump down, and there's this little pillar and a little nook inside of here, and a little doohickey on the floor once again. Next one. The third node is in the atrium in the EDZ, which is in Trostland. It's in the church. Kind of hard to see. You can't zoom in there, but it's the one in the church. And once you're in the Lost Sector, clear out the first room, jump down, and in this little side room, in this, like, I don't know, shower stall, let's call it, there is another doodad on the floor. Pick that up, and you've got the third one. And the next one, I believe, is also in the Trostland. Alright, and the last one that is in the EDZ is also in Trostland. Like I said, it's in Widow's Walk. Once you clear out the entire Lost Sector, or I guess you don't have to, but makes it easier, once you kill everything, jump up here, and there is the fourth node. And I believe we're on to Nessus at this point. Alright, so the fifth node is on Nessus, and it's actually in the Carrion Pit, which the entrance to it is over here in the center of the Glade of Echoes. And this is the boss room. I have killed everything, so stuff's not attacking me, but see right where those two guys are right there. You just come around this corner, and there's the doodad. Last one. The sixth and final node is in the Lost Sector called the Rift, which is in Exodus Black on the west side of the zone. So once you've murder-horned everything and get to the boss room here, you don't have to clear everything out, but the last node is actually right up there. Now, I'm on my Titan. I do have Lion Rampants on right now, so my jump duration is extended. And we're going to get up there just like this, and there is a node right there. Sure, you don't need to have Lion Rampants on as a Titan, but being having better jump is just better overall. But now we are on to the next part of the quest. Okay, so once you get to the point in the quest line where you are having a full Fallen Transporter, and it says rendezvous and a big, huge line of code. That is at the farm. So go to the farm, and as soon as you fly in, go to your right, go down into the basement, which I've literally never been to before. And in this back corner over here, you get to talk to a friendly Fallen Captain, whose name is Mithrax. Okay, and speaking to Mithrax will throw you right into the Whisper of the Worm-styled mission to get yourself the Outbreak Perfected, or Outbreak Prime, whatever you want to call it. Now, this mission, I would say, is maybe a little bit more difficult than Whisper of the Worm was as far as the parkour version of it, or that part of it, but the actual killing of the bosses at the end and the ads in the meantime, I don't think were as difficult. It's not as compact of an area that you're fighting in, but the parkour and the puzzles were definitely a little bit more on the challenging side. As far as the fire team setup goes here, I was a Sunbreaker Titan for Melting Point. We had Tether, and we had Blade Barrage as well. But really, as long as you can do the damage to the ads, it doesn't really matter what you bring. But there are arguments that can be made for basically any subclass that would be good in PvE to be brought into here. I would say a Well of Radiance probably wouldn't be a bad idea either, and could make a lot of things in here easier. But it's all going to depend on, you know, what your fire team can bring to the party, because not every single person will be able to bring in every single subclass type in here. So what I will say, my weapon loadout, I was using a kinetic pulse rifle, the Blast Furnace. I was using Jotun as my energy weapon and Hammerhead for my heavy. Now you will find basically every energy type of shield in here. So make sure that you are, at least as a fire team, a little bit diverse. But I found that Jotun was even able to take down shields that were non-solar in one blast, and I was not at 700 power for this actually. The recommended power for this activity is 690, and I believe I was 691 because my Lion Rampants are not 700. So, but using things like Lion Rampants and other abilities or other exotics that can enhance your Guardian's jump abilities definitely do make the parkour easier. But other than that, it's just kill everything, because if you don't kill all of the ads in this mission, you will get stopped. There's an invisible wall or doors that will not open up. So just make sure you're taking everything out as quickly as possible. I would say try not to overuse your heavy ammo, as the last boss fight can be a little bit intense, and having heavy ammo definitely does help out. Like I said, Jotun here was definitely doing work. But again, use whatever you want to use, just make sure that it's efficient for PvE slaughtering, as there are a lot of enemies to take down. For the rest of this here, I'm going to basically just have some music playing in the background, and just kind of show you the path. I don't need to explain anything else other than, you know, once we get to the last boss fight, I'll touch on a little bit there, but there's really nothing else to do here besides kill all the dudes and then follow the path on the video. Watch it a couple times if you have to, but it is a little bit of a challenge here for parkour. Okay, this is the part of the mission where a lot of the parkour comes into play, or just knowing your way around. I'm going to be making some tips and some, shortcuts, some notes as we move along here. This first big room that you're going to be in with the ship in it, you're going to want to go underneath the ship, underneath the front nose cone, and jump down. There's multiple pathways you can take coming up in this next room right here. You see I take a left and take out this vent. If you go right, it is a longer path. Do not take that pathway. And it's just easier to know your way around with a shortcut. It cuts so much time out. It's fantastic. Now make sure that you're not stacking your fire team in this next area where you're going to be doing a bit of a jumping puzzle. The platforms you're going to be landing on are very, very small. So not Goomba stomping each other is definitely a way to go here. And this is where you're going to want to use something like Stompies or Lion Rampant if you're on either a Titan or a Hunter to get your jump a little bit better. A little bit more going for you. Might be a little bit more difficult on Warlocks, but definitely is doable without jump exotics. They just allow a little bit easier of a time. And upcoming here, if you do have some team members that, say, fall down, that sort of thing, or they just don't want to do this part, that switch right there that I just hit will drop down or slide out that little bridge there, so your teammates, like that Hunter just jumping down right now, can catch up to you very quickly and can basically bypass the entire jumping puzzle, which is very, very nice. And then, as you see, you drop down in here. You're going to want to go all the way up, though. Don't go into any of the side rooms. There's nothing to hit, no buttons, nada. You're going to want to go up all the way to the very top. Well, not quite. There are vents that are along the sides that you can break out along the way. And the one that I'm shooting right there is the correct path to take. The other ones are a dead end, but they aren't a huge waste of time. They might waste 10 to 15 seconds of your time. Now, when you get to the fans here, sticking in the area with red, the red pathways are definitely your safe way through the fans. Don't try to jump through them. As you saw there, I did fall and ended up getting cut up by the fans. You do have to be careful, as the pipes are that you land on here. The pipes are slanted down towards the fans. So if you're not pressing forward into the wall, chances are you will get spit back out into the fan, and that's not a good time. So just be sure to have a jump ready for when you land on the pipes. That way you don't slide into a fan on accident. Once you get all the way down to the bottom, there's another vent to go through here. And this area here, pretty simple to go through. You just step on the little slivers of area, the little slivers of platform, stand on basically, and you're going all the way to the end into this open grate in the wall here. And we're coming up to one of the trickier areas you can definitely get stuck in just due to RNG. In a minute there's going to be a kind of map of the room that we're in right there, and those little red dots those 4 little red dots are switches that you need to hit. And so basically the room is set up like a big rectangle with little squares on the sides. So I am taking the switches on the left hand side of the room, and somebody in my fire team is taking on the switches on the right hand side of the room, and we're divvying up the duty so that way we have less time running around. The threat down here when you're in this area, there is kind of, let's call it a sweeper bot that comes through, and it's not technically an actual sweeper bot, but it's basically a wall of death that comes at you. There's no escaping it if it catches you, especially on one of those little electric walls that pop up to slow you down. But there are little cubby holes, I just passed one there, along the floor that you can hide in. But other than that, unless you can just outmaneuver the moving wall of death, there's nothing you can do if you get caught by it. There's no cheesing it, nothing like that. But you see there, I hit my 2 switches. The fire team member that was taking care of the switches on the right-hand side died to the sweeper bot. And so now me and the other fire team member are just chilling by the door at the opposite end of where you drop into for him to hit that 4th switch and for that door to open for us to continue. And we're hoping and praying that the sweeper bot doesn't come by and kill us. But as you can see here, the sweeper bot does come by and takes us out. But since we're waiting by the door here, we just kind of sit and wait for our fire team member to hit that last switch, then come revive us. That way you don't have to go all the way back through that, we'll call it a maze for lack of a better term, because the Wall of Death sweeper bot does change directions when it knows where you are, and will hunt you down, and you can be stuck in there for quite a long time if you have bad RNG. So if you're by the door and you end up getting killed, just wait. Wait to get revived if your fire team is going to hit you. Now the next part here, stand on any one of these 4 things, on these 4 platforms, hit the button, and it will go up. It'll stop, it'll go up a little bit farther, and if you're on this one specifically, it'll stop again and go up even farther, all the way to the top. But I got impatient, and you can actually jump. You can scale the wall, basically, just jumping side to side. It can be about the same speed, a little bit faster, if you are careful with your jumps. And then here we slide down this tunnel. You have to be careful here not to gain too much speed, because you'll go flying into an opposing wall and die, just like that hunter did. So as you can see there, I'm just jumping at random times, hitting my head on the ceiling to slow myself down. It's a good way to not die. Now we're getting very, very close to the boss. Only a few vents to go through, a few more pieces of the puzzle left. As you can see there, we did not go down the stairs, we went through the vents, and at this point you turn around and there's a cryptarch symbol on the wall. Just stand close to it, you don't have to punch it, the door automatically opens. Now on the heroic mode version of this encounter, I've heard that you can't just run straight across here, you need to go in a specific pathway on those tiles. Don't have to worry about that if you're just going to get the weapon for the first time. You go all the way to the back right room. There's a hole cut in the floor. Drop down, and this is the last bit of the gauntlet, call it, before the bosses. From here on out, it is a linear pathway. Basically just jump up through some other vents, down this one, and hey presto, you're in the final boss room. Now the final boss does have a couple different stages to it. I would highly suggest taking out ads as quickly as possible, as everything does hurt here, as everything is power level 690. But once you do a little bit of damage to the boss, he will summon some servitors. There's 2 of them. There's going to be shanks with all different types of shield on them, being arc, void, and solar. Take them down as quickly as you can. Add control. Cannot be stressed enough during this boss fight. Once the servitors are dead and you do a little bit more damage to the boss, he will summon in 2 spider walker tanks that will be on either side of the room, kind of up where I'm shooting right now, is where one of them will be, and the other will be on the opposite side where I'm kind of looking right now. But you can see here the servitors are spawning in. We just take these down, take down the spider tanks. Now, you should definitely focus your fire here as a fire team. Definitely say, hey, we're going to focus down this servitor, then the next, and then this walker tank, and then the next, and then you have the remaining time to clean up any ads that might spawn in. Just over time, ads never stop spawning in. And then take down the boss, and you have Outbreak Prime. I'll leave you to the rest of the boss fight if you care to watch it, but just know that once everything dies in this room, you've got it down. And we came into this room with about 6 minutes remaining and had some time to spare at the end, so no worries. Getting this one is easier. This boss fight is easier, in my opinion, than Whisper of Worm. If this video helps you out at all, a positive rating is greatly appreciated. Hitting that like button for me. Much thanks if you do. Also, if your friends are looking for a video, a guide video, sharing this one, also, major thank you. If you're new here, you want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. But, happy hunting. Hopefully you get yourself your Outbreak perfected. And I will catch you all next time.
Watch the tanks.
Nope, I'm dead. I got sniped.
I think we should all focus on the right side first.
Yep, solid plan. Focus one tank at a time.
Aim that me. Nice dead.
Oh. You get a revive?
I have my blade barrage, but I'm gonna save it for the boss.
I've got melting point, we're fine.
Okay, everybody, you should all focus on the boss in 2 seconds.
And melting point.
Guys. Nice.
There we go. Boss
We did it.
dead skis.
I can see. Oh, oh, whoa, whoa. Nice.
Outbreak
we got it.
Prime.
Nice.